What?
Yo,
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 What?
yo, yo,
What?
yo,
What?
yo, yo.
What?
Welcome back to the YoungBucks Podcast, episode number 89. 89 is pretty crazy.
I was thinking that when we were writing it down
Mm-hmm.
earlier.
Henry, Chris, here today.
We back.
Two bros.
And we
If your
back.
first time here, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, head over to YouTube or audio. You know, we're over on pretty much every platform.
Basically
So,
every platform.
We're a growing podcast. We're a young podcast. We're
a new
developing
podcast. We're a Christian
community.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
We're the YoungBucks Podcast.
And we've been doing it for 89 times. That's wild. I mean, I was thinking about some of our first episodes and the grainy camera,
why?
the bedroom.
Why were you thinking about these episodes?
Because it was brought up to me that we could create a compilation video of every time that I say something and you say it right back.
I was thinking of doing going back, listening to every
It'd be
episode on
crazy.
double speed, just finding.
It would be a great video. It would be well worth the time.
Oh, 100%.
So maybe
Hearing that makes me want to quit my day job and just look into that.
we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean some of those aren't even I don't know if they were put together. The problem was the reason that those early episodes never went out to YouTube is because our camera and the audio, they never aligned. For whatever reason, there was a drift in the audio, and it would go faster than the camera. So then putting it together to make it line up, it would line up in the beginning, and then by 30 minutes in, it's like a sentence off, and it was just torture. So thankfully, we were able to upgrade equipment as time went on, and now it's a better process for sure.
100%.
It
on 50% of our laptops.
I think it would be cool if every episode was on there, but then again, every episode would be on there on YouTube.
Yeah, it's probably a better thing.
Yeah,
Just check them out on audio.
Yeah,
But hey, thank you if you're here for watching. Comment, and subscribe.
how many people do you think have listened to every all 89 all the way through, every minute that's on there? How many people?
10, 20,
Really? 10?
30.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't
can
know. I have no
confidently
idea.
say I am not one of them.
I have no idea. But yeah, I think
I know there's one for sure.
people like them.
I know there's one for sure that has listened to every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know how to ballpark that.
Me neither. We've done a lot. That's almost 90 weeks
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
the YoungBucks Podcast. Yeah, so just thank you for the support recently on all platforms. Instagram, we're climbing back to a little bit, seeing some support over there.
There only can be one funny person.
And apparently it's not either of us compared to the comments.
Who commented?
Well, there's a comment that said actually our dad is the funny one.
Oh.
So maybe we're not the funny ones.
Was it him?
No.
Was it mom?
No.
Oh.
It's
Kyle.
actually our very own Kyle Hose.
I can see Kyle saying that.
He told us about it. That he commented it.
I didn't. I
No.
wasn't there. Was I?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't.
So I kind of thought you knew, but it's okay. But no, yeah. Instagram's growing too. Check out our YouTube channel. There's you're already here.
I had no
if you're
idea
watching it, but
how many people
on
knew
audio.
about the turkey and gravy combo as well.
Seriously?
I mean, clearly, listen to the episode, look at the clip. I didn't know.
No, well, yeah, you didn't.
But now, after seeing how many people know about,
Henry got flamed. I mean, I'm glad it's all going on you because I knew about it. I just am not a fan of gravy.
Right.
And
You said gravy could be cheese and sauce or something. You could make anything gravy.
I think you could.
I don't know if that's how it works.
All right, but we don't need to talk about gravy.
No,
But
not anymore.
But just as far as the clip goes, Yeah, Henry was getting flamed. Not like, but like in a funny way.
Yeah, we
Like,
got donuts.
They were laughing at us.
We got
like,
donuts with the guys on Thursday
laughing with us.
night, and it came up. Did you post it recently? And
Wednesday,
so
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
we pulled out the clip and we played it at the table, and it got laughs, but yeah, everyone knew about gravy except me.
Yeah, it's just Henry.
So it's a big Midwest thing.
Yeah.
See, I'm not from the Midwest, so.
Yeah, we are. Technically, we're part of the Midwest.
Well, yeah, you're from Michigan.
Where are you from?
I don't know. No, I'm playing.
On a real note, Henry might be from like North Carolina or something. Maybe you're from Maine.
Bro,
with how cultured you are, I think you're from Maine.
Is there no culture in Maine?
I don't know, but I just feel like you might not be from Michigan.
Like Vermont.
Yeah, like somewhere up there. Maybe like a Rhode Island.
Mm.
I think you're a Rhode Island guy.
I wonder what Rhode Island people are like.
I do too. They got Rutgers over there.
That's where that is?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think so.
I mean, I think it's over.
I mean, based on where it is.
Actually, I think Rutgers is New York.
In the Big Ten. Oh, it might be New Jersey. You're right. But based on where it is in that Big Ten commercial,
oh,
I think it
gone.
might be Rhode Island.
That's
But that's the last time the commercial's played.
And I'll have to have Washington and
Oregon
USC.
and UCLA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be crazy. I thought the college changing divisions and stuff would be like the major sports, like the football, basketball, maybe wrestling.
Yeah.
But I guess it's all of them, all sports. So think about that, like a UCLA
Michigan
tennis college
tennis
student
match.
has to go to play Michigan now instead of their local traveling. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't even know if there is college tennis.
New Jersey,
But that's the point, is like
It's in New
the
Jersey.
sports you don't even know about, they have to now travel much farther.
Yeah, like it's everybody's affected at the school, not just the big time players.
Yeah.
Man.
Speaking of college, though, I've been listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey this week. And, man, it's interesting. I mean, the people who call into the show, like, there's so many situations that people get themselves into, and college being one of them. And I'm not here to, like, criticize or anything, but just observing the, people calling into the show. And he's, like, he talks about money. Obviously, like, that's what his
like, he knows a lot about money. He's very financially smart.
But it's not, he like draws a line between it being emotional and it being behavioral.
Yeah.
It's a system.
He's a smart guy.
100%. And it's cool to hear him work through the situation with people. He's not critiquing anybody most of the time, because most of the people are calling into the show being like, "Hey, Dave, right now I'm kind of stuck. I got this and this debt," and he's most of the time like, well, "What's your household income? Like, what are you saving? What are your big expenses?" Like, he's just working through it with people, and it's like,
I think that's just what people need.
You just get to hear direct experience from
Right.
people, and I'm like, okay, this is
Kind of where I'm at. This is where I don't want to be, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's also relieving because with anything in life, you turn inwardly and you're like, I feel like I'm the worst at this. But then you see other people's situations, it's like, okay, it's not that. Like, I'm not that bad.
They are terrible. No. But
just
in comparison, like, you're not, there's always someone that's, you probably have it better than.
There's always people that are better than you.
Right.
It's just how it works.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah. But man, college is crazy.
How much money people are paying for it? I know, dude.
But he said 52%, I don't know if it's the same stats though, 52% of people graduate college who go. So that means 48% of people don't graduate college.
Exactly. It's so interesting.
And like something he said with that was
so weird.
It's an investment in yourself, but why would you get into debt you wouldn't get into debt for an investment.
Right.
I guess the idea is that it pays back.
But most of the time it doesn't if 48% are dropping out.
Right. That's the thing. That's what
And that's what his
that's
point
a
is.
weird stat. Yeah.
I remember learning about. I took the Dave Ramsey course in school, so like
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I basically know everything about money
Was it
ever.
the every dollar where you like put the like if you had like this is my income, now I have to put a spot for every dollar to go? What was the course? Seems like they have a decent amount of products that they talk about. You still got the app?
Every dollar app.
Nice.
No, I don't use it because whatever. I have it, but I don't use it because I didn't think I spent enough to create a budget.
He would beg to differ.
But now after yesterday, I'm thinking I might beg to differ. However, no, it wasn't like we had to assign dollar amounts. Like we literally got taught by Dave Ramsey, like people. Like there was
I
like there's
see.
like a course that our whole class had to sign up for, and there was videos by Dave Ramsey, by Victor Cruz. What's her name?
Just the people that
Cruz, Rachel Cruz.
Yeah.
The
George
George something. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention it, we did that in my business class my senior year.
Yeah, so like I learned about that my junior year, and so like I remember like I know that's where I learned about a Roth IRA. That's where I learned about like being saving more, spending more, budgeting. I didn't know much about that. Like you were talking about, like paying cash for things, the credit card, having credit score, you know,
Yeah.
all these different things like that. That's where I learned about that
Like
stuff.
what matters, what doesn't.
Yeah. And so I've kind of like obviously it was only a half year class, like we didn't do it the whole year,
Yeah.
but like I still remember some of like the basic stuff from it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I know what you're talking about, and like Dave is a smart guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I should probably start listening to him as well.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked about it is, well, first of all, what's helpful is that he's a Christian and uses those values with what
Right.
he talks about. I would highly if you have questions, I would highly recommend just starting to listen to some.
How well? So you've listened to? I know you started this week, right? This past week, kinda.
Yeah, I don't remember what day, but one of the work days.
So has anything that he has said, have you applied it yet? Because I know you've been budgeting like this past month, like you've been really good at it.
Yeah.
But like, is there anything that like in the midst of what he's been saying you've applied yet?
No, but it has brought some awareness, some things that I can do.
Yeah.
So like my car,
Hail damage.
so the HHR was my previous car, Chevy HHR.
The char.
It was dying at a rapid rate.
Slowly. The egg.
Talk for a second.
Yeah, it was a car.
Okay.
It was
I just
it
had
was
to
a piece
sneeze.
of crap.
But
it got the job done. That
About-
thing, you could take that thing. That was like the Saturn View.
yeah, I miss the HHR, man. It's such a good vehicle, but I
Gladiator.
the problem was that I didn't get oil changes enough, like, and I went to change the oil, and the filter was like sandy. It was so bad. It was bad.
I don't even know what that means, but like that does not just
Your
seem
oil
right.
filter should not be sandy.
Right.
You know,
How does sand even?
it was just so old. The oil was just so old because I didn't change it.
Okay.
And
So anyway, your car.
right, I get a car this time last year, so I traded it in, And that was
somehow
that was the down payment, right? Down payment.
Yes, yeah.
And so then the rest of the money for the car that I have was a loan. And it's nothing crazy. I had the money to pay for it, but I was like building credit, using the money more, like not giving all the money at that point into that, especially because this is when I was not
making money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I had to and thankfully I was able to. He needed a
car.
Thankfully I was able to. But then in July there was a big hailstorm, crushed all my windshields. My insurance covered the cost of fixing the glass, and so I was like, okay, boom, I got a drivable vehicle. But what I could have done and still can do is like get a estimate for how much it should be fixed for, and that could total it to then me being able to buy it back for less than my loan is, so that I could get rid of the loan and I could be debt free on it.
Nice.
And then I could probably pay less in insurance. So I'm like, okay, so this is like, I'm thinking through some things here.
I know everybody has a car payment, but do you own the car? Like, so do you, I know you pay insurance on it, but do you pay a monthly bill for your car?
Yes.
Okay. Is that because you got a loan?
Yes.
So are you paying off the loan?
Yes.
Not paying off the car?
It's the same thing.
Okay. So if I were to go out and buy a car for $7,000 in cash, I wouldn't have a car payment.
No.
But I would have to pay insurance on it.
Yes.
Okay.
And the way we structured the insurance was so to the point of I would have the full coverage until it wasn't worth the price of the vehicle, if that makes sense. You paid the amount of insurance in the value of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And once you've already paid it, there's really no point in paying the max.
Okay.
Because if the car was damaged, you're putting more money than you need to into the insurance.
Yeah.
So like, it's just things that I'm thinking through that I can square away. Like, it's fine right now. It's fine. I'm not doing anything crazy. It's affordable payment. I'm not like going broke paying for it, but it's like
he's making money, boys.
Just trying to like.
Speaking of making money,
what's that?
Somebody sold a first house, fifth house, but like first big house,
first real house. Yeah, it's true. I closed on a house yesterday, so that was exciting.
Big time bucks coming in now, buddy.
Yeah.
Shoot, new setup for the podcast coming in. New everything, new couches, new crib. What we doing?
Sells one house and nah. It was nice. It was nice to help somebody out with that, buying a house and getting compensated for it.
Yeah, first big sale.
Mhm. It was nice. I didn't want to celebrate at all until it was officially done.
Of course,
because
you never know. That's why we can talk about it.
You never know. Yeah, we can talk about it now.
And we already on to number 2.
Mm-hmm. There's some more in the works. It's exciting. It's cool to see. This past year and a half with real estate has been a culmination of both personal, business, life experience, and perspective shift. Yeah. God kind of taking me and molding me into who I need to be for my career and stuff like that. So it's been good.
So you were not making any money. Then you started real estate. So when you started real estate, you joined a company that did not pay you. And you spent long hours not making any money on anything.
Yeah.
And now and you did that for a while.
6 months.
And you and you kept so you did that, and then you joined a new company, but you were making money doing it at a restaurant, at the same time. So not fully, we were working on the podcast, but we weren't fully in on real estate. And now you're painting as well. But how has it made you how good does it feel knowing that you finally have made money doing real estate? Especially after the 6 months of
the monstrosity
of your life that 6 months was.
It's
because you were going through more than just not making any money. You had a terrible sleep schedule, like you didn't make any money, you were spending your savings, like definitely not the best you were.
I mean, that whole experience at that company dehumanized me in many ways, and I'm very thankful for having the community of Bible study group
During that time.
That was a very, I got in at a very low point for me, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Everything was just pretty poor internally, and also my girlfriend too was good, having her
Of course.
Just do stuff and enjoy life that way, like the good personal part of my life. But yeah, it dehumanized me in a lot of ways, like career wise, health wise. And I was just doing the most, trying to figure out how to please people. I really struggled with that. I really struggled with the fear of man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like pleasing
talking about
people.
that on the podcast.
It was bad. It really was. Not something I ever really thought was a part of me. I didn't really. I've never been like an extremely overconfident person where I'm going into rooms and like being the energy and like going crazy, like kind of like you and Kyle can do or did do. I've always just kind of stuck to myself and things like that. And so getting into this situation where I realized I wasn't as secure as I thought I was, I kind of became vulnerable to, fear of man, people pleasing. And I didn't understand it. I remember going on walks with my girlfriend trying to explain that, but I had no idea what it was at the time. I was like, for some reason I care about what people think, and it's influencing my decision making.
Yeah.
And just talking those things out like really helped me come along too. But there's been so much character development that I've gone through, and I really am thankful for it. Yeah. I really am. I think
absolutely.
I'm in a position now where, God is giving me the ability to steward this money, through the work that I do, and just in my decision making is much better than it would have been. If I made a sale, let's say, a year ago,
to this magnitude?
I wouldn't do anything reckless. I wouldn't go buy stupid stuff.
Right.
But I think like just from being like mediocre mentality with this stuff, like with life, I'm like a level above in responsibility, but it was from like that stuff being withheld from me. So it feels good knowing that I was prepared to earn and to work in the way that I am.
Yeah.
In the moments, it was not fun. It was not always good. There's been a lot of like times I've like really questioned myself and like what's going on, not really understanding. Just,
a lot.
Yeah. A lot of ununderstanding and a lot of like dependency. Like I've realized like there's literally, I can't do anything on my own. We are, spiritually there's obviously like I am sinful, and I think growing spiritually allows me to look at life in the best way possible, because you have to realize that you can't do anything to save yourself. And so, and in the battles, in sinful battles, you can't do anything to win them either. It's all God.
Right.
God.
You have to give it up.
Mm-hmm. And the Bible talks about, denying yourself and taking up your cross.
Oh yeah.
Following God. And it repeatedly, do not fear man. Do not fear man. Like the fear of man is not something to give into.
No.
And I learned those things that the Bible talks about through life experience. through trials, through testings, and it was very good for me. And now I can look at things where I can be confident in myself. Like, I feel physically different in a confidence perspective. I feel confident at an all-time
100%.
high. And I don't, it's
100%. I
not
can tell.
inflated. It's not inflated by like, oh, I just made a sale. It's like, no, I just did work and God has blessed me. Like, it's not me
Right.
though. It's not me. It's him. He lives in me. Everything that I do is him. It's not me.
He's him.
He is him. Who is he? He is him. It's the most comforting perspective because now no one can touch me. Not really like that, but I'm
Right.
just saying it's a lot harder
It's a
for
confidence
the
thing.
fear of man and for people pleasing to enter into my life because I have a
Yeah.
confidence. Philippians 1:6 says, be confident in this very thing. He who began a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And I believe that happened. I believe that, I
There's
believe
been a
in
good
what I
work.
believe.
Right.
And there's
We'll let him cook.
there's seasons of life where you're peaks and valleys, and I'm like not in a valley right now.
Right. You're definitely on the up.
And it truly is only because of what God has done for me.
100%. That was beautiful. I think the big thing that I realized like this week in Luke 9, it's in every single gospel. It's like if any of you want to be my followers, you must give up your own way, take up your cross daily, and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. So like, obviously, yeah, taking up your cross to follow Jesus. But it says it right here: take up your cross daily. It's a daily battle. Like yes, we believe in Jesus, we follow Jesus. It is Jesus working in our lives, but it is a daily battle that we have. That's how strong the world is. Like it's a daily battle that we have to give up ourselves to God, and take up our cross. It's an everyday thing. It's not just like you do it once and you're good. It's still your flesh trying to get to you. It's still the world saying that its way is better. Like it's a daily fight that we have to fight.
I agree. I was going to point that out and say daily is a key word there, because there were days where I would get it, I would understand, I would be good in my perspective, but then I would fall off like the next few days because I would make decisions to distract myself away from that.
Right.
And then ultimately I'm not doing that. Again, nothing sinful per se. It doesn't always have to be sinful. It can be distracting myself through food or laziness or
That's a big one for me.
grudges, like just being mad.
Yeah.
That can be distracting, but that's me. That's the sinful flesh in me.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to deny in order to like
as you're about to make that decision, no, I'm denying like sitting down and being lazy for the next hour because I need to I know what I can do and I know what I can do for the Lord, and that's going to distract me from doing it.
Yeah. It's an ongoing process to improve and be sanctified, be molded into who God has you to be. But yeah, that I remember reading that verse for the first time. It was a Wednesday night. I went to church for some reason. I was just feeling it. I was like, I'm gonna go to church, and it was in Mark 8, and I read those verses, and like honestly, like was very emotional. Like I wasn't crying, but I kind of had that
It hit you.
pit in the throat. Like I was like, man, this means something, and I have no idea what it means.
There's so many times I sit there and I'm just like, that's what I think. This means something, but I don't know what it means, but it means something. I get you. I know what you're saying.
And looking back at that, I'm like, man, that was probably the starting point of this
whole journey.
Snowball. So right now I am very thankful for life lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be at. Just being like how God can use the trials of your life to bring out. I have my quote somewhere in there, but it's like, trials is God being humble enough to give us a glimpse at his goodness and power. Like that's what it takes for him to get our attention.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes.
Yeah.
And for you, it was working 6 months without getting any money, and for me, it was a breakup. You know, like he got to us, and that's what it took. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how, like, if any of this sounds prideful, but it's not my intent.
No, I don't think it does. I mean, I think we talked about your lows for a while on the podcast. I think it's about time we talk about some of your highs, you know? I think it's well-deserved. Well-deserved sale, well-deserved, like, time to be appreciated. 100%. You deserve it.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
I
I'm very
appreciate
happy you made a sale. Like, that's big time.
Thank you.
It's big time.
Thank you.
That's why I've told everybody about it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's another thing. I like you just saying that. I'm like, oh, that's a word of encouragement from a fellow believer. You know, that's God. Like, there's like, it's the like, it's a walk. It's an active walk, daily walk. To stay in it. You know, that can, like, the consistency compounds, and I don't know, like, I'm starting to just, like, understand that a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I feel like there's, like, a final point, but I don't know how to get to it. Like,
Final point to what?
just everything we're talking about. But
we found Jesus and, like, can understand where we come short, and we understand where, like, God is taking us, and, like, or no, we might not understand where God's taking us, but we know that, like, he does have the plan for us, and, like, we're doing our best to read his word and follow what that, and get to what that looks like in our own lives. And so that's what we're sharing with you, and that's, I think, our point.
yeah, I used to think well, I know at the beginning of this last year, this time last year, the first message of the year that I heard was about God's will, and at that time, I then kind of got into, like, a fear, like that fear circle kind of started setting in, where I kind of thought everything had to be spiritualized. I thought,
like, kind of like, what if, like, what I'm about to do isn't God's will for my life?
yeah, just
Dude,
a severe
it's so,
questioning.
It's so, I hated that too, because I went through it too last year.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the exact same thing, but keep going.
But I just realized it's just being, like, faithful to the opportunities you currently have.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, like, you, like, again, you just have, like, it's not you. It's
Right.
not me.
You know, like, I saw something one time, and it was like, the verse in Corinthians is like, whatsoever you do all to the glory of God. And so sometimes God will for your life is just whatsoever, you know? Like, you have to, like, sometimes it's just like you have to make the decision, and God's going to help you. But, like, sometimes it's literally just whatsoever you do. Just do it to my glory. It don't really matter, you know?
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty profound.
I know.
I've never thought about it that way.
Me neither. And I was like, whoa. So I kind of, like, there's sometimes where I'm like, well, whatsoever. I'm just going to do it. This, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe that's the point. Whatsoever. Just do it to God's glory.
Yeah.
So, like, when you don't think you know, or, like, when you're struggling to make the decision on what the will is for your life, or because, like, I went through that. Like, I was like, should I do construction? Should I not do construction? Like, how do I know if, like, each decision I'm going to make is God's will for my life, you know? And, like, should I keep this person in my life? Should I keep talking to them? Should I, like, stop, you know? Like, is that God's will for my life? And I'm like, well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just so scared to make a decision. And then I finally did, and things started falling into place. People started leaving my life and coming in, and, you know, and so now we are where we're at. And that was whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess that makes it, like, it's not, God's not going to make the decision. Like, if you pray about something, You gotta do it in order to. You gotta do something in order to see what the result is.
Right.
To like, like.
I mean, hey, Kyle O's God is a God of action. Quote, Speedway. Henry's birthday, October 30th.
That's what he said.
Speedway. Yeah, do you remember that? We had that. We went to Speedway, had a deep talk, and he was like, "God is a God of action."
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because I was in the group chat this week, right?
Yeah.
I meant to. I didn't get to read that yet. No. Wait.
You texted.
I did.
And nobody responded to you though.
Oh, you're right.
You're right. But I did read it and then didn't respond because I don't even know. But yes, you did respond. Okay. You texted.
Okay. Oh yeah, it was a big text.
Yeah,
I remember.
Because you didn't send it with video or audio.
Yeah.
So it was actually readable.
My favorite feature of the phone is to be able to send an audio message, because often I have a lot to say, but I'm like, bro, a text is not.
So I think what you need to do is text to speech rather than an audio message.
Dude, you wouldn't read it. It'd be so long.
You know what I do for your audio messages? I read them.
Actually?
Yeah, I read the transcript.
Oh, okay. I'll do
a text to speech. That's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I just be thinking, I'm like, text to speech. Or I don't say text to speech. I speak my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would read it.
Okay. All right. Man. So I guess like to pull some of the stuff together, we're going to talk about community.
You know, sometimes like at Bible study too, like we have a topic, but you know, the Lord had a different plan for this episode.
What's crazy is we didn't even it's honestly crazy how much time was filled based on like our conversation before.
Right.
And like we were like, okay, we got a lot of stuff about community, and then
didn't even bring it up.
No.
And so like that's the beauty of it. Because like we do the same thing at Bible study half the weeks.
That's
like there's
true.
something that we're going to talk about, but then like there's sometimes we just don't even mention it. And so like
that's really true.
And so like that's kind of what this episode was.
Yeah.
Like we had something to talk about, but like I guess God had a different plan for this episode. And so I think it was good though.
Yeah, I think we could kind of parlay that to next week.
Our community talks?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But I definitely, it's very important to understand who you surround yourself with.
Diving into community a little bit, like a tad.
Being self-aware of.
You got to know who you surround yourself with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's like, even if you might not think it's the best decision. Mm-hmm. Like surrounding yourself with groups of believers at church, outside of work, like, or even at work, you know, like just finding believers to surround yourself with and help each other grow is so key.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this year's looking good so far.
For you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Mine is looking good if it was opposite day.
Dude.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's mine's looking good. But you know, there are seasons where you're ups and seasons when you're down, and I feel like I am just like in between them both right now.
The tweener stage.
I mean, I guess we can talk about last week a little bit.
Yeah, so
like last
week you were definitely lost.
I was lost.
You were lost.
For sure. But I think I found it because I was praying on Monday and Sunday is... When did we record last week?
I think we did a Saturday night.
Yes, we did. So Saturday. So we had church on Sunday, and Sunday was about how to read your Bible. That's literally what it was called. It was like how to read your Bible. It was a teaching lesson, or that's what I like to think of it as. And so I was like, why do you read your Bible? What is the Bible? And how to read your Bible? Or like the 3 points. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. I didn't really listen, but like I did start to like realize like, okay, like there are different parts of the Bible, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John's were definitely where you need to start 100%. And that's where I have been reading, and I've been in the middle of Luke. And so like Monday afternoon after work, I just I spent a lot of time just in prayer. Like, I want to just reveal something new to me. I'm I don't know what's going on. Like, I tried to become vulnerable. You know how we talked about on Monday night, like becoming vulnerable with God.
Mm.
And like, God, I'm angry about the situation. I'm like, God, I'm genuinely just like confused. Like, I have no idea about anything right now.
Yeah.
And like, I want to create that intimacy with you again. And I just I cannot find anything right now. I cannot focus. I can't do anything right now. And I don't understand it. And so then
You feel immovable.
yeah, I really think that helped me. And so I kind of just been like praying like before I read and after I read to just like completely clear my mind of anything that's not from you, like all my insecurities, take them, all my just like random thoughts, all my wishful thinking or different stuff like that. And I think that's really opened up my mind and I've been able to follow and understand a lot better.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to say thank you to a lot of people because I talked to it with some people and I definitely received some prayer from people. So I'd like to thank people for reaching out.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think I was there too, to some extent. And I mean, it just sounds like maybe it's to depend more on him.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about what I learned from it. I mean, I just learned that like now I am learning in my scripture because like I remember just sitting down just blank staring and like just mesh. My mind was like a scribble line but now it's kind of just like a
I mean, do you think it could even be like the mission, if you will, to accomplish was just to acknowledge that you were confused. So then
maybe, yeah. Like, yeah, I think that might have been it too,
Yeah.
It's whatever it was to me is how I figured it out, because there's that verse, it's like, if you believe you received it, then you have.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever, like, maybe it was that I was confused. Maybe it was whatever you said right before that. Like, but whatever I believe it was is what it was. Like, whatever I believe God helped me with, he did help me with.
So you're chilling now?
Yeah. I like to think so.
Good.
But then, like, there's more struggles that have arisen that we don't need to get into, but, like,
what are you going to do for work?
Sort of thing.
That's the struggles you're talking about?
Kind of, yeah.
Do you have it? Did you do, like, this week where you, like, okay, let me look into something? What was the mindset around work?
Just really realizing how isolated I am there. Like, I don't fit in there at all.
Sure.
To any extent.
Yeah.
And like, as much as I try to, like, I couldn't tell you how many biblical conversations I've had. I say, so there's 4 apprentices that started. I've had one with all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's another apprentice that's in a different trade. Talk to him about it. I've talked to 2 of my bosses about it. Like, because one time one of my bosses, he like sneezed. I was like, "Oh, bless you." He's like, I'm baptized, unforgiven or something, sinner." And then so like that kind of turned into like we talked about baptism a little bit. And so like, yeah, like I've talked to like people about the Bible, and it's just like that gets nowhere at the construction site, dude. And I just like, so like it'd be different if I hadn't had any boldness at all to my name. If I was just sitting there like twiddling my thumbs waiting for God to do something at work, like it'd be a little bit different. Like, but I just like I feel so isolated because like I feel like I'm not getting any work done, and I feel like I'm not, like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely
I don't fit in.
Yeah. I mean, that can be a part of the process, just showing you what you're not so you can better
Find out what I am.
Yeah.
And then there's the difference of like being at Bible study, being at church, going to Dawn's, going to even the funeral yesterday. Like, it was so good to just be around believers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that like like it got pointed out this week at Bible study, and now like that's been what I've been noticing. So yeah. So it's kind of just that, and then I've had some other thoughts, but I don't want to get into those either. I don't want to get into those yet, but like work, we can definitely talk about work.
Do you feel like you started it? Like you feel like you got to stick to it because you started it?
Not at all. I would like to be done fairly soon. But
Yeah.
like then it's like, well, I want to keep making some money now.
Right.
Like I would like to buy a car before I quit.
That makes sense.
And I'd be buying the car with cash. You know, I wouldn't have a payment.
Yeah. Recommended.
But no, I forgot where I was going with my point.
I mean, you're talking about. I asked if you feel like you gotta keep going just because you started it.
Well, no, I don't feel like I do. I feel like with that work, it's just, I don't know. I don't feel a commitment to it though. Like I feel like I could be done.
Yeah.
Whenever I needed to be, and I don't think it would be difficult to get out. I just like need to know when that is going to be.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
What would you do if you could do anything?
If I could do anything?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I would be a broadcaster for sports. You know, I'd be a sports broadcaster. I still think that's a great job.
You can go to school for that.
I know I could. Or I could do a podcast and
It's true.
yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe start a podcast sometime soon.
Yeah.
No, I would start, because like me and Kyle were talking yesterday before the Lions game. The guys were predicting the score of the game. One dude said it was going to be like 56-16 Lions. And I was like, 16 points, and we're putting up 56. I was like, our secondary is going to – I know I said this a lot that night. And I was like, our secondary is going to give up at least 30 points. And Kyle looks at me and goes, why are you doing construction? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you should be in the broadcast booth, Joe Buck. And I was like, man, like, you're right. I mean, I kind of wanted to be. So, but I think –
that was my dream too.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a great job to have. But I like where I'm at. Yeah. As far as like doing a podcast to maybe get to that point at some point. But yeah. I think I need some time writing and some time researching, but I need to not be lazy and distracted when I get home. Like I definitely have been better. Like this week I was a lot better than I was last week because last week was poopy. But like I've definitely been better this week.
Yeah. I can tell.
But I just need to not be my laziness is bad.
Yeah, you just got to make it.
And sometimes I don't feel like I remember Noah talked about it one time when he was on, like, there is enough time to start it, but there's not enough time to finish it before you have something else that you have to do, so you don't want to start it anyway.
Yeah.
You remember when he said that? Or maybe not.
I know what you're saying,
but
though.
Yeah. And I felt that this week. That was this week for me.
Starting something is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Because we try to like perceive the end, and then it's like, oh, well, I can't even think about all the steps I'll need to take.
Yeah.
So I just shouldn't start it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're definitely getting better. I would say getting better every day for sure. I like the new series that the church is starting that I'm going to. Like it's called Following Jesus 101. So I'm thinking that I'm going to learn a lot through that, like a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm ready. Like I kind of feel motivated now after like talking. Like I've seen so many people that I haven't seen in a while, like the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
And so like I found myself like when they're like, so what are you doing with your life? I'm like, I'm not really enjoying it, you know? Like I tell them like what my go-to's been, I'm like, I'm doing construction, but I don't know how I feel about it, you know?
Right.
And so like the fact that I've told close to 20 to 25 people that in the past 2 weeks probably means I should stop doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of in a similar headspace with, I haven't ate today.
Oh, was that your stomach?
Yeah.
I
bro.
also haven't eaten either. I had a couple pieces of beef jerky, but
Shoot. Good thing we're getting food later.
yeah, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Black Rock.
Where are we?
I really want to go get food now.
Where were we at?
Uh,
Okay.
Me struggling, telling people that I don't enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's I struggled with that for a minute too, with the people pleasing thing. Yeah, like God will give you purpose, and also it's like He didn't make you interested in stuff for no reason,
Right.
or gifted or skilled at things for no reason. But eventually you realize that He gave you those things, so then you enjoy them because He gave them to you.
Yeah.
And then you find purpose in what you do because
Like
you
our
do it for
friends,
that.
like being a part of Bible study group. Like He gave us those people,
Yeah.
you know, and so like it's cool to be around them.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
Do we have like a button to put on that talk, or was that it?
Put a button on it.
To put a button on it.
What's that? What does he say? What does he say? Chris Webber, with the LeBron shot.
Put a button on it. I know.
Being a black man in America,
you cannot
compartmentalize.
compartmentalize. You must compartmentalize.
to stay sane.
Stay sane. I know you're having a good talk, but to put a button on it, as a black man in this world, you cannot compartmentalize. You must compartmentalize.
I just see LeBron taking a shot right here. The slow motion pull up three as he's saying that. Ultimate all-time clip.
Webber.
I don't think he's broadcasted a game since that.
Oh, he has not. Pistons legend, man. Guys, I think it's over there.
What? Oh, is that a stop sign?
Dude,
right
I
there?
think it might be a stop sign right over there underneath that shirt.
Shoot.
Man.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm definitely the podcast as well has grown dramatically.
Yes. 230
over the past year.
Not
and
only the
so-
time, but how much subscribers we have.
Sweet.
230.
I'm really, really thankful for that. In addition to everything we talked about today.
Very blessed.
So if you're listening to this at this point in the episode, thank you for sticking
We
around.
really do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And stay tuned for next week. Talk about community. If we
Oh,
remember that we
hey.
were gonna do that.
Hey, looking into next week, episode 90. Hey, last one of January. What's up, dude? There we go.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
That's all I gotta say.
That's been episode 89 of the Young Bucks Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, subscribing, reacting, and listening today.
Go Lions.
Go Lions! $1,131 dollars average price for tickets. Everybody should go check it out.
Score prediction? Do you want to just give one?
Score prediction, man. I'm thinking 27-17 Lions.
Okay. I'll go. I'll go 31-28.
31-14, 31-28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see the
3-point
Lions
game?
giving up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big plays the Tampa Bay had?
Against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Bradbury.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
But I can also
the wide
see
receiver core would be good if they had a starting quarterback.
That's facts.
No. So yeah, tune into the Lions game tomorrow. I mean, yesterday, when you're listening to it.
Watch the NFC Championship game next week.
Yeah. Hey, thank
All
you
right,
guys.
that's it. Peace.
Peace.